and how are you today? I'm doing good, thanks. It's not what you'd call a hot day, not by any means, but it's certainly not as cold as it's been recently. We're going to do some cards today because this is actually being recorded on the 25th of November, 11:25, so we're just coming up to Thanksgiving, a time when people can have a rest. Maybe things are all over the place in the world, aren't they? Can you actually get together with the people you want to be with this Thanksgiving? Who knows? I certainly hope you can, whoever you are. And speaking of people getting together, big thanks to everyone who's subscribed in the last few days since Kim at Intuitive You gave me a shout out. Really appreciate that. If I hit that 1,000 subscribers mark, see, I can start doing much better live readings and actually get on YouTube Live and work direct with you, which is what I'm all about, really. That's kind of what I'm always trying to do, is reach people. So that's absolutely great. I pulled a couple of cards just for a kind of significatory hint at what's to come. And I'm going to shuffle these back into the deck shortly and then start pulling the main cards. First card I pulled is actually an oracle card. This is Energy Healing and it's Merlin. And I noticed that there's a lot of yellow in this card, which is the same colour as the yellow that I've chosen to wear today. So I guess it's in sync with me. I hope it's in sync with you too, because it's energy healing. It is so positive, isn't it? Energy healing. Something that isn't easy to bring into our lives, actually. It takes a great deal of manifestation to actually make it happen. But sometimes it just comes down from the heavens and just comes into our lives. And that's what's happening here with Merlin. And if you're new to this channel, then you're tuning into the energy of ancient Wales, UK. And so I'm really glad Merlin came up, actually, because Merlin lived a lot of his life in this actual area, and he's buried not too far from here. So he's a very strong influence with me all the time, and he's showing up today to appear in this reading. So very powerful energy healing. There's no dodging it. And this is great, actually, because we're in a time, as I've been saying in the last couple of readings I've done, we really are in a time of big change, and it's stressy change. It's not easy change, and it's got a lot of people right on the edge of their feelings and really questioning some of what they believe. And that's normal. I think it's a great thing to actually question what you believe from time to time, because life is long, you know, and there are always new lessons to learn, and those lessons sometimes point us in different directions. But whatever happens, the energy is good, the energy is strong. So tap into it, friends. Energy healing there with Merlin. Let me quickly take a drink of tea. Get yourself a drink of tea. Hit the pause button and get yourself a drink of tea or coffee, whatever you want to drink. I don't know. It's kind of a very individual thing, but get yourself something to relax with, okay? Because this is going to be a relaxing one, I'm sure, because we had energy healing to start with. I also pulled a tarot card, and again, this isn't the main reading, but this is significant towards it, and it's the Four of Swords. Now, this is a great card, again, in terms of healing, because this one says you can take a rest, okay? It's important to take a rest from time to time, particularly when it's all happening, particularly when there are stressy things going on in the world in general and maybe around you too. So do take a rest. This card, being a sword card, does have to do with making decisions, and it suggests that there are pressing decisions around you at this time if you're drawn to this reading. And I think there are pressing decisions around all of us, actually, if I'm really honest about that. So how do we deal with those? Well, we need to come to things with a fresh mind sometimes, so you can kind of ask the angels to just take things on board. Give it to God, give it to the Lord, whatever, but give it to the higher realms. That's the important thing to do. And your problems around these decisions will be transmuted, okay? No two ways about it. That always happens. And when you actually come back to trying to deal with things again, you'll be that much kind of fresher and better able to handle whatever life's throwing at you at the moment. So as we're coming up to Thanksgiving, those are two real positive cards there. Got the opportunity to take a rest, and you know, we can't all take a rest with the people we want to take a rest with. That is a very unfortunate thing about the way of the world at the moment. But nevertheless, you know, make those phone calls, maybe have some FaceTime, get on Skype, whatever it is you use to communicate with people. Social media is good for this, you know, all our friends are still there. no doubt. So make the most of that internet thing. Make the most of all the positive possibilities, because there really are some. It's an incredibly negative feeling time in the world at the moment. But is it really negative? I don't honestly think it is, you know. There's so much pressure on us to see things in a negative light. Some people think, well, you know, if you're too positive and you're not worrying about things, then you're kind of missing out on being prepared for all the terrible things that are going to go on. But what really happens is the law of attraction. That's always at work, no matter what, behind the scenes. Always, always the law of attraction. And the more of us get worried about things, the more anxious we get about things, the harder life gets. There are precautions we can take against the great virus thing that's going on in the world at the moment. Why not take those precautions? You know, some people believe it's necessary, some people don't believe it's necessary. But why not take the precautions anyway? Okay, just makes for an easier life, makes for an easier world. If you've got a reason why you want to go the other way, that's cool, that's up to you. I'm not in the business of telling people what to do. But I just think don't sweat it, okay? And believe that good things can come to you, because they can. And as I said a minute ago, we live in a world where everything is kind of, oh, you know, got to really be prepared for the worst to happen because it might. Well, it only might, you know, and it's much more likely to happen if you worry about it. That way you bring it not exactly into being full stop, but you bring it around yourself, and there's no escape from that. Okay? So we're going to do a 5-card tarot reading now. And what did I write in I've got my little book here with things I'm going to do videos about. We're looking at relationships. We're looking at love today. And that can be your relationship with the divine. It can be your relationship with your partner. It can be your relationship with wanting to have a partner and everything that goes around that. Really, it's up to you. And it's very up to you, because I'm going to say yet again, pick a card or pick all 5, okay? There are going to be 5 cards. Do you want to pick number 1? Do you want to pick number 4? Do you want to pick kind of 2, 3 and 4? Do you want to pick 1, 3 and 5? You decide now, okay? But decide before you see the cards. That's the magic of it. Okay, and just let it happen, and we'll see what we've got. So the first card out it's number 9, and it's the Alien. Now, this is a card we don't get in many decks, but this has a lot to do with what I was saying just now about the law of attraction, actually. And it's a real good first card, because it's a kind of a wild card, you know, almost a joker in the pack, because anything can happen when this card comes up. It's very, very fiery energy. It's major arcana, so it's close to the heart. And this is really saying, more than anything, think outside the box. And know that you are protected. There are some nice blue, purple-y sort of light flashes going on here, all about Archangel Michael being close at hand. And although they're actually very small flashes of light, you can see the way they kind of take over the card almost. They set off all the other colours in this card, so that protection is there. So the Alien, what does that say about love? What does that say about relationships? Well, we're living through a time in which relationships and love are almost being alienated by the things that are going on in the world at the moment, and it's important not to let that take over. It's important not to let that really be a thing. The alien, though, himself in this card, or is it herself? I don't really know. Let's take a close look. Is golden. That's the bottom line. We can see through him or her in some ways here, and there's a black background all around. But there you see is the difference between darkness and light. And it's not just a difference, there's a kind of coexistence of darkness and light that's really important to understand and to take on. So as I'm talking about not worrying about stuff, as I'm talking about thinking positive, well, we know the value of positive thinking because we know what the dark really kind of is. We've all had that in our lives from one time to another. And there is darkness all around just about all the time. This world is always trying to make things feel dark and crazy and difficult. But the alien comes in, and that is just, you know, really be prepared to think in terms of a wild card situation. Anything can happen, and it can be a good thing. It really can. It's much more likely to be a good thing if you think positively about it. And maybe you feel like love around you at the moment is an alien thing, But it's not. It's not alien to the human condition. It's kind of alien to the way the world works, though. It's certainly alien to politics. It's really definitely in a big way alien to people who are selling stuff, because the more we feel loved, the less we need to kind of reach out and buy stuff and get things for ourselves, because we're more in that giving frame of mind. And that's where we need to be, particularly around the festive season, actually, because that's what it's there to remind us of. But particularly any day, anyway. So another look at the alien here. As I'm sort of focusing in on this card, I'm reminded of these spiky things sticking out. Now, they look like they're piercing the alien's heart, but the alien is not dead there. So, whatever's going on, if it's piercing your heart, I'm so sorry to think about that, but look forward, look ahead, and look up and believe that things that you think are totally alien to you, happy things, good things that you think you just can't have, you really can. But you've got to visualize it and you've got to believe it. That is the most important thing to do. You've got to visualize and believe. I have really often been guilty of not doing that and actually visualizing and believing things were going to go the wrong way and things just could never be good. But that is the wrong way to look at life. It really is. And things take an upturn, as they have for me in recent times, and I'm kind of cheerful again, and I'm bright again, and happiness comes back in. And it's really because I went through a very short time of believing that things could happen, and they started happening in the most positive way. They really did. So what is card number 2 in today's spread? This is so positive. It's the Ace of Cups. Now look at it. How beautiful is that? And this is also law of attraction, so important around relationships, particularly because relationships involve a lot of desire and a lot of longing. And the healthiest relationships always include some of that. It kind of keeps things magical, doesn't it? It keeps people wanting to be together and wanting to make good things happen. And you really need that goodwill around relationships all the time. And with the Ace of Cups in this deck, we've got what we got here, the 1,000-petal lotus flower. I can't count 1,000 petals on it, but that is what it actually is representing here. And in that way, it's also representing the crown chakra. So you've got to be kind of open to good things coming in. Again, law of attraction. Let me just change the light, because it's kind of just making shadows everywhere in a way I'm not terribly keen on. And you see, there's always something we can do, actually, to shift the shadows. I just moved my lamp there, because that's a very simple way of moving the shadows. But keeping that law of attraction head on and keeping the crown chakra open to new things and good things coming in is the way to banish the shadows. And there aren't a lot of shadows in this card, actually. Let's bring it up a bit closer here. We've got a cup. We've got absolute fire coming out of the cup as well. And this symbol here, it's not exactly the caduceus, but this character with arms outstretched and this symbol going down the middle is very like the caduceus. So again, we're drawing in energy healing in such a big way. And it's the Ace of Cups. It's so positive about what we long for, about what we desire. So if you don't have a partner and you want to draw one into your life, believe it can happen, and it really can. It can happen for anyone, anytime. Think about relationships you've had in the past. Didn't they just happen at the last time you expected them to happen? It's always the way. Really it is. When your desire is up and you're really wanting to kind of make things happen and you're concerned about it, maybe even a little bit worried about it, somehow you give off a vibe that just doesn't draw anyone to you in a positive way. So put those thoughts aside. Believe it's going to happen sometime, and it'll probably happen pretty quick. Okay, we've got trees growing here in the background, or at least that's what they look like. They're purple trees. They're not trees of this earth, but that is how hope grows. It's not really a thing of this earth, but it is part of the human condition, so it does actually belong in our world. So take heart, take hope, and look at the fire here. There's a lot of passion just in this red bit in the middle of the card there. A lot of passion underneath the cup, holding the cup up. And so the cup is positive. Those things you long for, those things you desire for, really can happen, really can become real. So now then, card number 3, and I'm just going to take a quick drink, but you can have a quick look at the card. It's the 4 of Cups. There we are. Bring it up close for you to see. Unfortunately, if I come too close, we lose half the card, but let's have a scan of it. It's the Four of Cups there. So we've got this great green mushroom cloud. We've got Cups energy again going on here, which is really, really good news. It's water sign energy. So if you are involved in a relationship with someone around the water signs, or if you're a water sign yourself, this is going to speak to you in that way. But it's really here for everyone. All these readings always are. You know, it's meant for you if you're drawn to the channel. That's the bottom line. And by the way, there's a subscriber giveaway coming up. I keep meaning to mention that, and I'll get into that a bit later on in the video. But Four of Cups, longings, desires, but we've got that four square feeling that things can be good. Look at this chap down here, though. He's not happy, is he? Or is he? Is he unhappy? Or is he just kind of contemplating, you know? Things could be good. Who knows? But that's the way he needs to go. He needs to be looking at things positively because there are great things going on. There are people in this card. There are characters in this card. And whenever there are more than one or two people involved in a thing, and let's face it, all the billions of people in the earth are all in this situation together, the way things are going at the moment. Where there are people, there's going to be hope, okay? Not everybody is involved in, you know, the nastier side of life, shall we say. In fact, even the people that operate the nastier side of life have some good aspirations in them. Everyone has got some good in them somewhere, actually. It's a fact. We've got higher heart chakra pink going on up here. And again, we've got a dark character, and this chap is reminding me of the alien in the first card that we had, actually. We've got a witch's hat here, so there's kind of dark and light going on. And I don't know how you feel about paganism and witchcraft, but hey, check out my videos, by the way. There's one I did a few weeks ago about all that. And that's part of a series. We talk about that a lot, because the difference between dark and light is massive, and a lot of it is in the way we perceive the world, in the way we actually see things going on around us, how we view it. Amidst the darkness, there's always going to be light. Look at the pinkness of the heart, right on the heart chakra of this dark figure up here. And even though this character is in darkness, there is red light shining on him or her. Looks like him to me, if I'm quite honest, but it can be whatever you want. That's how these readings work. And that redness is, you know, that's the colour of action. That's the colour of really getting things done. It's also the colour of the root chakra, and that can involve a certain amount of worry, a certain amount of concern. But try and put those worries aside. If you're troubled by root chakra issues, the thing to do, as with any chakra actually, is to visualize your root chakra as the red color it is, as a really beautiful, gleaming, shining red. You can call it a red ball, or you can call it a red fan spinning. There are different traditions, and it means different stuff for different folks. But when I'm chakra cleansing, I like to see it as a ball, because then I can see it as a gleaming sphere, like a crystal ball. And if you visualize your root chakra like that, and just hold the intention that you're giving any worries about money or safety or security, giving those things to the light, then they'll be transmuted. They really will, and there'll be less trouble. We've got chakra colours all over this card. Higher heart here, pink, tentacles coming out. And in terms of love, in terms of relationships, whether it's a significant other in terms of kind of the heart, the higher heart, or whether it's a family type of love, and that's what's very close to all our hearts at the time of Thanksgiving. It's got tentacles, it's active, it's reaching out, you know, and there's no escape. We've got someone here. Don't know if she's trying to escape it, but she can't escape it because it's got its roots out. It really has. There we go. A very rooty card for number 3. What have we got for number 4? Number 1, the Starman. Right, now this is kind of the magician card in this deck. So this is telling us we've got all the tools we need to make love happen around us, to bring it into our heart. And when you think about it, we always have, you know, and this is just a reminder of it, because that energy is always there. Again, put out vibes for what you really want. Send out your thoughts to the angels. Ask the angels. There's always an angel sitting there waiting to help, wanting to help, and willing to help. You've just got to say the word to actually get that angel involved. And this is particularly important around relationships which you feel have broken down and it's hopeless and you're never going to understand that person, or that person's never going to understand you, and it just doesn't work, but you're so sad because you were so happy together. Well, if you really, really use the spiritual tools that the magician card says that you really have got, friends. And you really have. It's just a reminder, you really have. If you use those tools of manifestation, of dropping down into a space of meditation, which is another thing that the Four of Swords suggests, actually, that we had earlier. If you just really tune in, you can visualize things into a good way of being. It's possible to look at someone who you ostensibly don't like or maybe even hate, see them as a positive being, see light shining out for them, even if you don't believe that there is light shining out with them. And you will see them transform before your eyes, friends. I can promise you that. I've seen that happen in my life so often. You know, one night I was out in town. I live deep in the countryside now, and I'm going back a long way. But I was out in town walking around, and there were kind of thuggish people, knuckleheads, you know, standing round near this shop that I was walking past, and it was late at night. And I really thought I was going to get beaten up. They just looked like that. And two of them came up to me, and I thought, oh, how am I going to get out of this? And I just said, can I help you? And they kind of didn't know what to do then, you know, because it just disarmed them. They weren't expecting me to just be, to look, I wasn't fearless, but I looked fearless. That was the thing. And they just all backed off, and I kept on walking, and everything was fine because I believed that the situation could be okay. I believed that there was a chance they weren't going to beat me up, and it actually happened. It actually worked. If I'd really had my manifesting head on, I would have believed that they wouldn't have beat me up. I just thought they might not, and that was enough. You know, all you need is that spark of light to get things going, and here's a spark of light at the feet of the magician, lighting things up and making things real, making things seem good. Okay, and very, very fiery colours in this card too. Lightning going off all over the place, so things can change. That is another big message of this card. Things can change, not least because you've got the tools you need. And if you pick this card, take heart from that. If you're looking at all five, then that is a very, very positive message. And it's also card number 4. It's just the last one before the outcome card. So that's how things are going in future. Okay, you'll have that ability to actually use the abilities that you've already got, if you know what I mean. So what is card 5? Let's take a look. 7 of Wands. Now, this is pretty good as well. So we're into the Wands suit here, and we're into the idea of things actually happening in an unstoppable kind of way. The 8 of Wands is the most unstoppable, so we're not quite there. But what happens before we get somewhere? We go through the phase where we're not quite there. And it's really positive because we know good things are going to happen. I just need 4 more subscribers and I'm there. News of that subscriber giveaway any minute now. But let's focus on this card here. What have we got? Burning spears flying around. The wands, excuse me, the wands are like spears. I'm going to have another drink. Look at that. The wands are flying through the air like fiery spears, and actually some of them are coming up from ground level. So the inspiration, and let's face it, we're all going to need some inspiration to manifest truer, deeper, and real, genuine love around us. We're all absolutely going to need that inspiration. It comes in best when we're grounded, okay? Any kind of meditation practice works much better if you take the attitude that you're going to ground yourself and protect yourself. And something at Thanksgiving that's really positive, even if you can't be with your family, you get families sending out thoughts to each other, and that is such a happy thing, you know. It really helps in terms of manifestation. But whatever you do, it's a day of rest essentially, so you can put your roots down wherever your home is, even if that's just wherever you lay your hat. Like the song says, you can put your roots down into the earth. Actually visualize those roots wrapping round the earth's core and holding on tightly, so you can do what you want, but nothing can knock you off your feet. Nothing can push you in a direction that you don't want to go in. So important to do that, actually, because that kind of helps the angels to help you, if you know what I mean. I often heard from people who don't believe in grounding because they think it'll hold them back from making spiritual progress, which is all kind of up there in the higher chakras, is it not? And it's not. It's just not the case. The more grounded you are, the further the angels can take you on that journey. So don't fear grounding yourself. Maybe you're going to be having a good meal for Thanksgiving. I'm going shopping to get some good food in for mine, actually. And I'm not even in the States, but the kind of cosmic psychic link that we get when we're working together on the internet here and just working together spiritually, sending thoughts out to each other. It really makes me feel close to the kind of United States and Canada energy. And I've got some family out in Canada, actually. I've been to America once, only once, and I wasn't there for very long, I must admit. But I feel that connection. It's strong and it's important. Anyway, 7 of Wands, all those connections coming together and that groundedness linking up the arrow from the ground to the arrows coming down from the skies. They're not arrows, they're wands, but they're acting as arrows in this card, and it's so fiery. So you are going to be able to attract love. You are going to be able to draw yourself into situations. It's not just about drawing people to you. You can do that, but you can kind of draw yourself into a positive situation around that as well. Let's just take another look at the cards that we started the reading with, actually, because now we can see a bit more of what the meaning is. We've got Merlin, we've got 4 of Swords, so it's energy healing, it's taking a rest, and there is so much urge for manifestation there, but you can see that going on in this card as well. Merlin's got his hands raised, and he's drawing down that beautiful yellow fire from the sky, and it's lighting everything up with purple healing colours, and he's got red on him as well. He's making things happen. Manifestation. And the 4 of Swords, for all it's about taking a rest, for all it's about making decisions, which doesn't sound that much like it's kind of forward moving, you only move forward when you've made the decision, and the decisions are so much easier to take and to make when you've actually had a rest. Okay, friends. Right, now then, subscriber giveaway. I'm very close to 1,000 subs here. I am grateful and delighted. It's what I've been trying to manifest for years. So big thanks to you if you've subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Okay, now this giveaway is going to be for any of the last kind of, say about, I haven't decided yet, say the last 150 subscribers, okay? I think that includes everyone who's joined recently because things have shot up. I'm going to use a random number generator. I'm going to pick a subscriber, and that subscriber will get a free birth chart, okay? They're an interesting thing, birth charts. You can get them for free from any of the astrology websites, any of the big ones anyway, like Cafe Astrology, Chaos Astrology, Astrolabe. That's a good one. I use that quite a lot. It's like ASTROLABE, which was an old medieval an old medieval astrological instrument that people used. But the free birth charts you get from those sites, they only tell you the most basic details. And it is very interesting, actually. But I do sell birth charts that go right into depth. And a lucky subscriber will be chosen. I'll choose over the weekend sometime and let you know who that person is. And that person will receive an in-depth birth chart with a chart wheel diagram, a picture of the sky at the time that that person was born and in the place that that person was born. And if you don't know the time you were born, as long as you know the day and the place, we can get pretty close to it because I can do a sunrise chart for you, which is very effective. And not just the chart, very detailed explanations of every single planetary alignment at the time of your birth and the asteroids as well, which often get left out of the less deep, shall we say, birth charts. So get subscribing. Tap that bell so you don't miss anything because there's more videos coming up all the time. Many thanks for watching, my friends. And again, big thanks to all of you who've subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. It's going to be good. It's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to working with you guys more and more. Leave me a comment, please. It's always great to know who's there. You know, it helps our guides get tuned into each other, helps make the readings more appropriate to you. And once I start going live, when I hit that magical 1,000 subs mark, once I start going live, things are going to take off. And I'm going to be able to actually talk to you one-to-one in front of everybody, I guess, but actually give you a reading, which isn't just card readings. There's usually cards involved, but I'm a spiritualist medium. I've been one for many, many years now, and so it'll be a real full-on reading, no stone unturned kind of thing. So thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. I'll say it again, please get subscribing. And I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm not very good at saying goodbye. I've been trying to say it for the last 5 minutes. So have a great time ahead, friends. Love, light, peace, angel blessings, the whole thing. Have a great Thanksgiving. I will actually be back tomorrow with a full-on Thanksgiving reading. Meanwhile, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.